Hello, I'm BMillzebub and welcome to my channel. In part 6 of my criticisms of the Catholic Church, I will be discussing the wealth of the Church. So let's start by discussing the dollar value of the Church. Unfortunately, it ranges from extremely difficult to impossible to place a dollar value on the wealth of the Church when you consider the combined value of properties in Vatican City, with the Sistine Chapel alone being valued at anywhere from $400 billion to $2 trillion. Not to mention what the church receives in tithes annually and the value of all church properties outside of Vatican City around the world. The reason behind the difficulty of finding the financial value of the church is because it's a decentralized organization. So despite Vatican City being the seat of the church's power, it is possible for the church in a country outside of the Vatican to be more wealthy than the Vatican itself. Here's a number I can give you, though, according to a CNN Money article published in 2015. Reported that the Vatican Bank holds about $8 billion in assets. But it is worth mentioning that the Vatican and the Vatican Bank are not the same entity, so the wealth of the bank cannot be considered an indicator of wealth of the Vatican overall, since the bank is technically reserved only for residents of Vatican City and church personnel. So here's where my criticism begins. The Catholic Church is one of the wealthiest organizations in the world, and taking a look at Vatican City, the leaders of the church live in opulence by comparison to many people in the world. Even the lowest priest has a place to live, courtesy of the Catholic Church, and actually mostly the members who pay their tithes. If the church wants to hold the claim of helping people in the world, the church needs to take up real-world methods of helping people. Selling an undisprovable afterlife as either a reward or punishment for whether or not you believe, and telling people that suffering is Christ-like, is just not helping. Improving living conditions in impoverished areas of the world is helping. Providing clean drinking water to places where it's a scarce resource is helping. Selling a cure for an imagined illness, that isn't helping. When the net worth of the Pope is roughly $25 to $28 million, any claims of being charitable goes out the window. Don't get me wrong, I don't begrudge someone who does well financially as long as those financial gains don't come at the expense of others through lying, cheating, and manipulating. But when you make claims of charity that the Catholic Church does and fail to follow through on that claim in a real and meaningful way, I've got a pretty big problem with that. Now, I could very easily say the same about other private charities with rich chair people, but this is criticisms of the Catholic Church, not criticisms of private charities. Now, I know that the Catholic Church is a decentralized organization, but shouldn't this charitable organization have some responsibility to the society it exists in? The church does have connected organizations such as St. Vincent de Paul and the Knights of Columbus, but to my knowledge, those organizations only help fellow Catholics, leaving the rest of society around it to fend for itself. I don't much care for any other forms of Christianity or any other religion for that matter, but just in the city I live in, I can think of a few churches that offer free meals to whoever needs it, regardless of religious beliefs. That is a claim that none of the Catholic churches in my area can boast. I don't know if anyone watching this video has ever been inside a Catholic church before, but even from the outside you can tell it's going to look just spectacular. But once you step inside, it's truly something else. Beautifully made chairs for the priests to sit in, with an altar which I think is a crime to cover with a cloth, but they do it anyway, to match the chairs, the stunning stained glass work, not to mention the incredibly intricate tabernacle made to store the Eucharist. All this, and too many people, Catholics included, live in poverty, and some of that poverty these people are living in is the most abject and oppressive that you can possibly imagine. To take a quote from the Catechism of the Catholic Church, God blesses those who come to the aid of the poor and rebukes those who turn away from them. Something the Catholic Church, it seems to me at least, fails at. Next time you have the opportunity, step inside a Catholic church. Appreciate the architecture and then ask yourself, how much did this cost to build? Then I want you to follow that question up with, how much does this cost to maintain? And round out the questions with, how much money could have gone to a real charity instead of construction and maintenance of this elegant building? Think of the good the church could do if they constructed simple buildings instead of spending on such a decorative building with the money they saved. The claims the Catechism makes of loving and caring for the poor fall flat on their face as far as I'm concerned. So take the grandeur of an average Catholic church. Now take a look at the Vatican. And the Catholic Church wants to make the claim that it's broke. Forgive me, but I call bullshit on that claim. That'll do it for this video. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and click the notification bell to get notified whenever I post a new video. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter, linked below, to keep up with all my comings and goings. Take it easy, everyone, and I will see you all in the next one.